Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks. So we'll be looking at the S&P and the NASDAQ at the beginning and the S&P here on the daily chart. We've been looking at this as wave 4 here, and then we've been looking at the move to the upside as wave 1. And we've been trying to figure out wave 2, haven't we, and obviously, we see this strong bar to the downside now. So perhaps we can, view this here as as I was trying to do, as the ABC pattern here before heading higher at that point. So I try to handle it, in such a way that, well, first up is that we couldn't really see what was in the move down here because it's just gap down, but on the E-minis, we could see that we had 5 waves down here. So I was waiting for some sort of correction, but it just went on and on and on and started to sort of push up. So we tried to edge in on the long side to the upside with the proviso that the move up can be a B wave, and that was sort of my primary count, and we're sort of coming into that now. So if this is the A wave and the B wave here, then we'll be looking for 5 waves down for wave 2. So let's go in and have a look at this situation. So I'll just put wave 1 back over here. So this is our pattern that we're working with, and if we just drop in the count here, so we've got wave 1 up to here, and then we've got the A wave and an ABC for the B wave, and then we'll need to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here for this wave 2 over here. So that's about it. Can this be wave 1 to the upside? Well, it's possible to count it to the upside as being positive, but once this low here is breached, or if it's breached, then it'll be over at that point. So the logical thing would be to look to be long above this high here. That would be that would be the first thing. But as always, if the market's going to move up here, then it's going to come close to this high, and it's going to react from that high in 3 waves. So then we'll pick it up from that point. So realistically, it's okay to say that, but essentially we would end up, looking for the first impulse wave and looking at it down here somewhere. So we don't have to worry about it, because we would need 5 waves up to give us that sort of evidence. Is it possible to look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here? Counts better as 5 waves down. And how far will wave 2 go back? I'm not sure about that as well. So, that might be quite small at this point. It could pull way back up here. I don't know. So, but there's a good strong case that we need to come down further. And in coming down, there's going to be support here where it's being supported at the moment. From the low to the high up here, the 61.8% was probably around this low here. So it's quite close. It'll be in the 50% retracement level area. So there's going to be a lot of support here. So we should see a wave 2, but I wouldn't really get involved in any of that. That will just be choppy, and it'll create losses for you. And yeah, we really have to wait for it to come down here, and then we need to get 5 waves to come up here, and then the pullback, and then we can start moving in. So eventually this entry will be down here, and we can build in through here. And, as boring as that is, the good news is that wave 2 would have developed further, and we've got this impulse wave up here as wave 1, and then the ABC for wave 2. And how far it pulls back down here, will it pull back down to the 61.8%? I don't know either. We just have to count the waves, okay? So don't pay any attention to, these price targets here in that sense. We need to count the structures, but it does give us a bit of a mud map. That's okay. But so we'll take that. So we'll just see how it goes at this point with this, but that's where that is. The E-minis are much the same as well. So we've got this move up here as wave 1, and then an ABC pattern up here. Once again, we can go long above the top. So if I've got this wrong and the market moves up, don't feel like you're missing anything, because if it gives us 5 waves up, it's like this one here. If it gives us 5 waves up, then we're going to get some sort of retracement level. Then we need to get in after that's done and this is done, and then we move in. So, it's a timing thing, and we don't really need to do anything, and we need to really just wait for the dust to settle on those tariffs that's created some of this, I would imagine. But that's that. So let's go over to the. It's pretty simple actually. So let's just go over to the NASDAQ here. And much the same here as well. We'll look at this as being wave 1 to the upside. I think put that in there. Wave 1 up there, and looking for wave 2 to come back. So how far wave 2 comes back will be a little bit of a mystery thing. But you know, one of the things that I normally find, just generally speaking, is that, you know, if a market's rally is quite high, it means that it's quite strong, doesn't it? You know, so normally in that case, it doesn't need to come down deep at that point. It tends to come in a bit more of a shallow correction. So we'll just keep an eye on that. If it only rallied a little bit, you know, then it will come down deeper, and the less that it rallies, the deeper it will come, just generally speaking. So because it's high, you know, it should be sort of down towards that last low here for this down in here. So, you know, down into this sort of area here, the 21,000 at that point, and I'll just populate these labeling here. So yeah, a nice A. We do have a nice 5-wave structure in here. So the A, the B, and the C wave here. You could probably label that a bit differently and put the B wave over here for that as well. But it doesn't matter. We've got that nice sort of impulse wave down here, and we'll just allow it to play out in you know, in its 5 waves here. There'll be some sort of little ABC pattern here. Wave 3 normally comes down around the previous lows, and you know, wave 4 could get complicated. If wave 3 is long, then wave 4, you know, emotionally needs to unwind all of that. So it'll be, you know, something like this here, and this 5 waves down here. We'll just see how it plays out. Okay, so nothing to do here. If you wanted to short this though, or the S&P, then, you know, you need to wait for the rally here. Now, obviously when it opens or whatever, it could come down here first and then here, and you just have to wait here. Once you can see the ABC pattern here, then you can look to, you know, go short under the B wave here. That would be a safe way to do it, because if that's breached, then this low's got to be breached at that point. And you just want to trade down to this consolidation here, you know. It'll be a bit bumpy because of this as well, but that would be one way of doing it. Okay, so let's cruise along. So I need to go back to my daily chart and head over into Apple, the stock. Okay, with Apple here. If I'm leaving these earning things here because we still have markets that are going through their earnings that we cover in this video. I think Google could be tomorrow, but if I leave them there, then I know that we've had them already. Do you know? So I'll just leave that there. That's why I've left them there, not because I'm lazy. Well, I'm actually a bit lazy as well. But this with Apple here, this move up here, it's got to be sort of viewed in 2 ways. When we look at it like this, we can see a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, right? So at first value here, but on the when we go to the intraday, it counts a little bit differently. This B wave here is just an alternative up to the 61.8% here. I don't think it's the case. On the after hours curb trading, whatever you call it, this was the low here. This one came down here in the aftermarket. So I don't have it on this particular chart here. So let's go to the 15-minute chart and just talk about this for a moment, and how we can go about doing it. So yeah, this was the low in the extended hours here, this one here, not this one. If I took this one here, without the extended hours, this would be an A wave, a B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here. So it'd make a nice ABC, and we've just been talking about this B wave up here for quite some time, and not that it would make too much difference. But at the same time, then we're also looking, if this is the low here, then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So this would be like wave 1 to the upside, coming back for wave 2, and then pushing up here further. So that's basically what we're sort of looking at here. So we've either got eeny, meeny, miny, mo with these two dudes here. So we need to wait for this to play out a little bit. But I will be, and we talked about at the 250 here, the medium level, we talked about trying to get a position below the 250 and then build above the 250 in this case. The other point that I want to point out here too is that I've got this as a wave 4 here, this move down here, but it actually looks, it's got the look and the feel of a wave 2 rather than a wave 4. But I won't go into that right now, but I'll just let you know that this could be not the case, but it doesn't really matter at this point in time anyway. It's something that we'll adjust in the bigger picture later on, if need be. But in the meantime, our focus is basically trading up to 300 and getting a position here and a position here, and then probably get a few in here. I won't put them all into the portfolio, but we'll put this one in and this one in. So we just got to talk about this here for a moment. And as it stands at the moment, I could look at this as an ABC pattern here. So there's a couple of ways this could play out. It could be that this is the little 4th wave rally, and we come down for wave 5 here in this case, and then we have an ABC here, and then we have another probably down to the 61.8%, which is down here, and then we get 5 waves up, and then we've got an ABC, and then we go up again. So I feel like this is the long journey here that I've drawn out. This is the the tourist drive, and it could be much shorter than that. But at the same time, there's nothing that I would like to do today in all of this. If you're looking to, everybody's piling out of Apple, as you know. Warren Buffett is moving out of it. Everybody else is moving out of it. It's got a few sort of issues and all the rest of it. But when the news is bad, that's the kind of time to pay attention, not to get lost in the emotional side of it all. So anyway, we'll see how the cookie crumbles. I don't have a set. I can see it all, but I don't have a setup. I can't get us in just yet. So it could be that this here is just the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. But I'd still want to see, let's just say it drops a bit lower. I still want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, and then the ABC pattern, and then we can rock and roll at that point, So there's a couple of different ways it could play out, but I need that 5 waves. To me, it's safety first. I don't have to get the best price. I just need to get the right price. So we'll see. But anyway, looking good. So I'm putting it on our radar at this point. And let's cruise back to the daily chart here, so I can come in over here and go to Amazon. Okay, over to Amazon, and we're in a bullish trend, within a bullish trend, so looking really good. The earnings for this are coming up shortly, must be later in the week, and the 250 here is a bit of a target. I think we've got long trades on that. Our target, we're trading a little bit longer here. We've got a trade that we're going to be looking a little bit higher up here at the 300, but we'll spend time at the 250. But all that said and done, let's just cruise in, and we'll pick it up from this wave 4 here on the 15-minute chart. So yeah, pushing up here. We could probably count this in a couple of different ways, all of this up here, but whichever way you look at it, it's still bullish. So I'm just going to put these in here. So I've got 5 waves up here, looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 here. I originally had it here, then I moved this one over to here. I'll move it back again because it looks like we've got a little impulse wave coming into here as well. So this move here is looking quite corrective as an ABC, so that's okay. So we could look at the next move up here as It's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. You know the drill. So I'm not going to add any. We've got 2 positions in here. I could lift the stop up a little bit now that the 230 is being tested, but I'll just wait a little bit. I'll prefer to move it when the 250's got the support here. We'll probably spend some time here. We'll probably end up with a classic trading levels pattern around that, across the 250, something like this here. There might be a variation on it like this as we're going into a strong move with it. But either way, we need to navigate that. Once we've had a correction across this level, then we can look to build in another position at that point. That's what we'll be looking to do at that stage. So that's Amazon at this stage. And I'll just put this back to the daily, and a bit of a long way around here, but it's kind of just makes it a bit neat. And over to NVIDIA. And yeah, so I still think there's a bit more. I mean, you can see that it's kind of got overlapping waves in this little consolidation here. It's got overlapping wave structures, so I still think there's further downside to be had here. But I don't think that it's much. And when the rest of the markets like finish their, like say when the SP and the NASDAQ finish their wave 2s, I think this will, move up from that point. I mean, obviously it's got some competition now, DeepSeek, but DeepSeek are using old NVIDIA chips anyway. And, this is not the first time DeepSeek has shown its face on the market. It's like second time. And I don't know why anybody didn't react from the first time, but they seem to all reacted from the second time, but they will come back in with a third time for sure. And but I think that from what I can sort of echo on the net, so to speak, is that I don't know if large companies in the West would like their data being used on the Chinese side of things. So I think NVIDIA is alrighty, but we still got a bit more to go to the downside. So the earnings are not until later in the month. But yeah, they're just, everyone's got opinions and they can get you into trouble. So I won't talk too much about that. I'll just stay with my job here. So I'm thinking that, I mean, when you get into corrections, there's a dozen different types of patterns you can look at, and and you can work things in different ways as well. So it's sort of a bit of an open book when corrections get quite large like this and complicated. I could put this wave 3, for instance, over to this point over here. I could do that. I still think there's one more move down here. It's not confirmed in that case. I can count 5 waves because I was thinking that we could have this here as a WXY and have this as an A and a B and a C wave to this point here. We can have this as wave 1 and ABC for wave 2, up for wave 1 and ABC for wave 2, but this low needs to stay in place. If this low is breached here, then we will be coming down further. It's how far we're going to be coming down as well. I don't think it's a lot, because what's actually happening here is that the market is finding support here, but at the same time it still hasn't made up its mind it wants to be bullish yet. It's still got that bearish air about its brand. So I would imagine at this point, with a bit of a rough guess, is that we still need to come down here somewhere before we need to go up. And once again, I would need to see, before we go in, I'd need to see the motive wave at that point, the ABC here, where we'd look to go long at that point. So we could pick the low, with 5 waves down here, but I still want to have this over here for that. So we're just going to let this play out. I'm not even going to sort of label it at this point. There's no point. This sideways correct. If this is a sideways, this could get even more complicated here. This could be an A wave, this is that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. So that's it's an A and a B and a C, or I could go I could go down for 1 here and then an A and a B and a C back for 2 and then 3, 4, 5. Right? There's a whole lot of combos for this. It's not going to we're not going to get what we want, but basically it's still under pressure. So we'll just play it out like that. So I'm just going to go back to the daily chart and then come over to Meta. Okay, so with Meta here, we've also got a nice strong move to the upside. We've had our earnings on this as well, but I like to leave it there. And we are long in this. I mean, we're hitting 700 here, right? So you can see that it's reacting, has reacted from the 700. It's still doing that. It's the sellers are still in control at this point with it, but the main trend is still to the upside. We're just going to see some sort of basic dance at that particular, at that 700. We're reacting from it here, so we still need to push up here. We still need to go through all of this over here. So that's really kind of where we are with this. But let's just go in and pick it up from that wave 4 low here. We talked about it last time. I'll pick it up from this wave 4 here. I drew this last time here. So we're looking for the A wave and the B wave up here is an ABC, and then a C wave down here. So it's pretty much the same sort of thing. We still need this C wave to come down here. For this, I can put this over here, and then we want this first high above the level, and we want some sort of corrective move over here. We've got a position here. We want to pick up another position over here for this. So this is where we need to be. We're not there yet. We're at the arrival and the reaction stage, and we still need the first high. Then we still need the pullback a bit. How far this comes down is doesn't really matter. We just need to focus on that. If we can get a better position, we can see it's safe. We'll do that. In terms of the count to the upside, here we're looking at it like this. So from this wave 4 here as 1 and 2. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside there. So yeah, it should just continue to build. We just got to navigate that that 700, and we've got group 1 group 1 above 10, 20 and 30, and we've got group 2 below. And group 2 here, you can see how it came up to the 65 here and reacted from here and spent some time in here. So that will give us some support over here and over here for this. So that's always good to see that there, because it's going to be helpful over here. Well, we can see it on the first move down here. It's it's helped it give it that support. So looking good. We'll just look to add to that in due course. Let's go back to the daily chart here. Go to the next stock, which is Netflix. Once again, with Netflix here at 1, according to me, is the strongest number. So the 1,000 here, and yeah, look, it's just arrived here, and it's having its sort of reaction from here. Eventually, it'll push up above it, and then it's going to drop back down below on this. So let's go to the intraday on this and just talk about it. Not that interested in it at the moment. So let's just label. There's 2 ways that this could be labeled. I just want to talk about them. Is we've got wave 3 here. Then the A wave and the B wave and the C wave here. That would be down for 1 here with an ABC, back for 2, and then down again here. So 3, 4, 5 to come down. Or the other way to count this is put wave 4 over here and look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and an ABC, back for 2 here, and it goes up further at that point. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then we go up here and here and here for this. But eventually we'll end up coming down. It'll be something like this over here, and this is where we want to be over here for this, to catch the next one. So we've been stopped out at 971 here. You may not have been stopped out, but had to put a figure in. But as I always say, this is where we got sort of stopped out here, is that with stops is that, I'll just go over it for new folks. If you've got a number here, let's say 950 here, you never put the stop on a whole number like that. And then you need to understand group 1 above, and you need to understand group 2 below here for this. Right, once you've got those there, then you put the stop under group 2. If you what normally happens is the market will come down, hit the large number, bounce off it, and then come down and test it. And it may not go any further than that. So you always wait for that first low below the level and then put a stop there. So normally we wouldn't be stopped out on this, but I was just sort of trying to manage it for the folks that didn't get out up here on that. But yeah, anyway, there's two ways to look at this here. We could go up, and even, I mean, it'd be great if we do go up, because then we'll be closer to this wave 2 over here where we want to be eventually. And we'll look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, so it'll be 3, 4, 5. It would probably take us a bit higher, actually, probably take us up in, this is group 1 up here, 1, 2 and 3 here. So, but I'll leave it. If you want to day trade this, that's fine. The long trade would be, you know, on this wave 2 here at this point. Yeah, if that's breached, then you're on your bike at that point. But otherwise, I want it to do a classic trading levels pattern here at this level, and that would be the arrival, the reaction in some way, the first high above the level, some sort of ABC, and then up again. It probably won't be as big as that, obviously, but that's what I'm kind of looking for. I need to be over this side. I know from experience I don't want to get involved in the middle of all of this, you know. So that's that. Let's just go back here to the daily chart and move on to Google, which has its earnings. What's today? Monday here. So third tomorrow. Earnings for this. I don't know what's going to come out of the box. I haven't sort of read any information on that, but I'll leave that to you. So let's just put the minor wave structures on here. This is basically where we are with this here. We're in a bullish trend. We've got a good accumulation across here. I mean, it looks like it's a long way, but from 2 here, group 1 is 1, 2 and 3 up here. So we've been talking about going long here. So 201.46 was the previous high here, but I think it opened up around the 202. So I put it in the portfolio as 202, and we'll just sort of manage it. I put a target at 220 here. We might raise that to 230, and I might remove it altogether, just depending on how this whole trend basically pans out here for this. But this will be tested again. Just be mindful of that. And what I mean by that is that this move up here somewhere will come back and test it before going. You know, it's just normal how a market, you know, operates. So just be mindful of that. It'll do it in its own way, but based on that, let's just go to the 15-minute chart here and label this here. So I've also labeled it very conservatively as well. So we've got wave 3 here with wave 4 here, and then going up from that point with wave 1 here and 2 here, and then going up for wave 3 here, and so on. So yeah, let's just see how this rolls out. So I'm thinking that we've got we might get this here as a little ABC pattern here. I'm not quite sure, but we need 3, 4, 5 up here, and then 4 here, and then 5 up here, and so it should, you know, continue to sort of climb up at this point. So, but I don't know what its earnings are going to bring out. So, you know, it's going to get a little bit gnarly at that point. You know, I mean, could be some sort of sharp move to the downside or something, and then I'll need to look at this, all of this move here, for example. You know, I might need to look at all of this as wave 1 here with a wave 2 here, and then a move to the upside, you know. So just be prepared for anything. It may not be as smooth as we wish, but we'll just keep the stop out of the way. And that's Google. So let's cruise over to the next market, which is Microsoft. So as I've always said with Microsoft here, is that there's two things here. Is that we can put wave 4 here and try to work some sort of, you know, impulse wave to the upside, because the rest of the market's going up, and there's no reason why this market shouldn't be going up as well. And the other count is bringing wave 4 over to here for this. they're the two things. You know, if I was looking at it just technically like this, that's where I'd have wave 4 over here. If I was considering sort of herding it in with the rest of the herd, then I'll need to bring wave 4 over here for this. So I've always sort of played it out just on an intraday basis. So that's what I'll do here, just to sort of play it out a little bit. And we're looking last time as the A wave here, the B wave up here, and then a C wave down here at this point. So that would be wave 1, 2. We're looking for this wave 4 last time we spoke, and yeah, it seems to be okay here. So we'll probably get, you know, a move down here on this for this at this point. And then I'll see, you know, if we get an impulse wave up here and in an ABC back, then we can look to move into it again. But yeah, it's not, you know, it's not behaving like Amazon and Meta at the moment, you know. So we're in the right markets at the right time, and we're moving into Google now. You know, we've got a few other trades out there that I don't cover on the video, but yeah, this one's not quite here just yet on this. So we're just going to leave this here, and then we'll move over to Tesla. So daily chart for Tesla, and a little bit hard to see here, but we've got this wave 3 top here, and we're looking for wave 4. This is the 38.2% retracement level here. That's why I've got this sitting here, this consolidation here. If it does let go of the 400 here, if it gets under it and tests it, and, you know, gets rejected at that point, well, then it will drop to this point here. This move here as an AB, you know, I mean, the thing we need to understand here is that we're in a bullish market. This is a bullish corrective pattern here, because this move here as down here as an A and a B and a C wave here is corrective, because this move up here has overlapped this structure at the moment. So it is a corrective pattern. It is a wave 4, so it can get complicated. And I'm just still sort of expecting another move down here. It doesn't have to pull down to this area here, just needs to probably test a bit lower, and then it can move up at that point, you know. So it'll be something like this here. We were waiting, last Friday we were waiting for, you know, a move up. So we've got that, and we can see that move up has been rejected. So that's good. We can use that as a top now, but I still think we still have a move to come lower here, essentially to take this low out here, this one here. How far it actually comes down, I don't know. It could come all this way down here, you know, because in a way it's, you know, even though it's a little bit sort of complicated, in a way this is one leg here, this is another leg, so I would expect this leg to be kind of same, so to, you know, come down into this support area here somewhere would be about right, but you never know how far it's going to sort of come down. So but just shooting the breeze about it. So let's just go into the intraday and just check on it. So we're looking for a B wave up here. So I have to use this spike here, I think, to, you know, to use that as the A, the B, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for that. It's in the right place, and it looks like, you know, this is very much like the NASDAQ, isn't it? You know how, and the S&P, how they've come down. So I'm thinking that, you know, just as a rough guess, we'll get something like this, and probably stay within group 2 of the 400 here. This is group 1 above and group 2 below, but still want to test this low down here somehow, you know. We're here somewhere. So anyway, we'll wait for it to come down, and next time it gets back up on the 400, then we'll look for the long trades on this. But that's where we are for this at the moment. Looking for an impulse wave down in line with the NASDAQ. I just want to put this back to the daily chart here, and we'll have a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so with Bitcoin here, I had this, I'm just going to bring this in here. Now, this move from this low here, last time we spoke, I had this move up here as wave up as wave 1 here. But it's not really giving me a wave 2 type price action here, and also it doesn't really match up with Ethereum coming down in the right way as well. So you know, you look at Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D. You know, you can see that Bitcoin is you know, really holding up, and you should be in Bitcoin rather than the other coins. You know, when Bitcoin dominance is, you know, above 50%, you want to be mainly in Bitcoin. You know, if it's the other way around, then fine. But so I'm thinking that, you know, I just wanted to put a different count forward in this case. Now, it could be possible that when we come down with the NASDAQ, you know, the NASDAQ's got a little 5 waves to come down. We could, you know, come down in this space here somewhere for Bitcoin and then move up. But yeah, like I said, this whole pattern in here is not nice and simple. Like up for wave 1 is okay, but as a wave 2 now, it's spending more days as a wave 2 than a wave 1. So it does appear that we're in this sort of situation here, that we can come down and test the previous wave 4 here before moving up again at that point. Okay, so it's just something that I wanted to talk about, and based on that, let's go to the 15-minute chart and check on this here. So yeah, so it just, you know, an ABC pattern should really be quite simple. It should just be a zigzag pattern, a 5-3-5 structure, and you know, this is looking, all of this here, you know, is looking more like something you'd get in wave 4 or B wave or something like that. So, but just to make it simple, looking at this low here as the A wave, and then the B wave here, and then the C wave here. Now, it still could be a wave 2, but I'm just labeling it wave 4 here for the time at being. And when I put this in here, I could probably bring the micro in as well. So as 1 and 2 here, and then, well, 1 and 2 and 3 down to here. So it doesn't really matter. It's still going to do the same as the NASDAQ. Okay, so this is how it is at the moment. So this is this, you know, from this B wave to this C wave here. So this can come down here a bit further, and that will be the 5 waves coming down here. So yeah, just sort of have a bit of a different look at it, try to see it through another lens. And yeah, so this wave 3 coming down here as 1 and 2 here, and coming down for 3 here and back for 4. Not sure how far that, you know, it could come back up to here, it could come lower, all of that sort of stuff, but it still needs this wave 5, this wave 3, this wave 4, and this wave 5. Now, it all could be much shorter, and it may not come down this far, but I think that we should be sort of considering this, you know, around this level here, where the wave 4 of the previous count was, you know, this one over here, this one, you know. It may not be the case. This is the 50, you know, from this low to this top here, where this little box here is the 62 to 65 area. So it may just sort of sit in there. But whichever way you want to look at it, it still needs to finish this trend off, okay? So we can talk about it a little bit later. I just wanted to look at it a little bit differently, something that I felt a little bit more satisfied with, that would also line up with Ethereum, and also line up with what the NASDAQ and the S&P are doing as well, you know. I mean, they're all kind of connected there. So, alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the week ahead.